So come number two of the light welterweight boxing title history. So I finished on Eddie Perkins winning on points over Robert Cruz in Manila. So we go Eddie Perkins' next reign. So next fight, so January the 4th, 1964, Eddie Perkins wins in the 13th round. Referee stops the fight in the 13th round against Yoshinori Takahashi from Japan in Tokyo, Japan, in April the 18th, 1964. Eddie Perkins wins in the 15th round on points, 15-round points decision against Bunny Grant from Jamaica in Kingston, Jamaica. Then January the 18th, 1965, Carlos Hernandez from Venezuela wins on points against Eddie Perkins. And that was in Caracas, Venezuela. Then we got May 15th, 1965. Carlos Hernandez wins in the 4th round. Referee stops the fight against Mario Rosito from Colombia in Maracaibo, Venezuela. Then July the 10th, 1965, Carlos Hernandez wins in the 3rd round by KO against Percy Howells from Jamaica, in Kingston, Jamaica. In April the 29th, 1966, Sandro Lopapolo from Italy wins over 15 rounds on points against Carlos Hernandez in Rome, Italy. Then we got October the 21st, 1966. Sandro Lopapolo wins in his 7th round. Referee stops the fight against Vincent Ribas from Venezuela. That was in Rome, Italy. We got October 1966, Lopapolo. So April 30th, 1967, Paul Fuji wins in the 2nd round by retirement against Sandro Lopapolo from Italy. And that was in Tokyo, Japan. Then you've got November the 16th, 1967, Paul Fuji wins by KO in the 4th round against Willy Couture from Germany in Tokyo, Japan. The WBC stripped Fuji of the title for failure to defend against the #1 challenger, Pedro Adegui, and set up their own version of the title. So the WBA continued to recognise Fuji as the champion. So you've got the WBO title now. Starting with the great defensive Argentinian fighter Nicolo Locci, So, December the 12th, 1968, Nicolino Lotche from Argentina wins in the ninth round by retirement against Paul Fuji. That was in Tokyo, Japan. Nicolino Lotche been known to have a drag of a fag in the corner, given by his trainers. I don't know how true that story is, but he was a chain smoker, but amazing defensive fighter, one of the best ever. I digress. So we go May the 3rd, 1969. Nicolo Lotche from Argentina wins and points over Carlos Hernandez in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And then you've got October 11th, 1969. Nicolino Lotche wins and points over 15 rounds against João Henrique from Brazil. And then you've got May the 16th, 1970, Nicolino Lotche wins and points over 15 rounds against Adolphe Pruitt. He wins and points over 15 rounds against Adolphe Pruitt from the US, and that was in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Then you got April the 3rd, 1971, Nicolino Lotche wins and points over 15 rounds against Domingo Barrera from Spain, and that was in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Then you got December 11th, 1971, Nicolino Lotche wins over 15 rounds against Antonio Cervantes from Colombia. Yeah, them two are right up there in the light welter history of great fighters. And that was in Buenos Aires. Nicolino Lotche wins that one against Cervantes. 15 rounds points decision. December 11th, 1971. Yeah, that's Nicolino Lotche beating Antonio Cervantes. But March the 10th, 1972, Alfonso Fraser from Panama wins on points over 15 rounds against Nicolino Lotche in Panama City, Panama. June the 17th, 1972. June the 17th, 1972. Alfonso Fraser wins in the fourth round by retirement against Al Ford from Canada. And that was in Panama City, Panama. And then you got October the 28th, 1972. Antonio Cervantes wins in its 10th round by KO against Alfonso Fraser. That was in Panama City, Panama. Then you got February 16th, 1973. Antonio Cervantes wins and points over 15 rounds against Joshua Marquez from Puerto Rico. That was in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then Cervantes gets his revenge against Lotche. March the 17th, 1973. Antonio Cervantes wins in the 9th round by retirement against Nicolino Lotche. That was in Venezuela. That was in Maracay. And again, Antonio Cervantes wins by a 9-round retirement against Nicolino Lotche. And then May the 19th, 1973, Antonio Cervantes wins and points. So he wins in the 5th round. Referee stops the fight against Alfonso Fraser. Wins on points there against Alfonso Fraser. So wins in the 5th round by referee stopping the fight against Alfonso Fraser in Panama City, Panama. you've got September the 8th, 1973. Antonio Cervantes wins in the 5th round. Referee stops the fight against Carlos Gimenez from Argentina. And that was in Bogota, Colombia, that fight. And then you got December the 4th, 1973. Antonio Cervantes wins on points over 15 rounds against Leon Furuyama from Japan. That was in Panama City, Panama. Then you got May the 2nd, 1974. Antonio Cervantes May the 2nd, 1974. Antonio Cervantes wins by KO against another fighter from the Orient. That's Chang Kil Lee from Korea. And that was in Cartagena, Colombia. Then you got July the 27th, 1974. Antonio Cervantes wins by KO in the 2nd round against Victor Ortiz from Puerto Rico in Cartagena, Colombia. Then you got October the 26th, 1974. Antonio Cervantes wins in the 8th round by KO against Shinji Kadota from Japan. That's in Tokyo, Japan. Then you got May the 17th, 1975. Antonio Cervantes wins on points over 15 rounds against the great Esteban Jesus in Panama City, Panama. Again, Esteban Jesus, the only man winning over Duran before Leonard beat him in about 80 odd fights. But again, Duran revenged that. Lovely, but I digress. So, November the 15th, 1975, Antonio Cervantes wins by retirement in the 7th round against Hector Lopez from Australia. Another Duran opponent. That was in Panama City, Panama. Then May the 6th, 1976, Wilfredo Bennett from Puerto Rico becomes the youngest champion ever at 17 to beat the great Antonio Cervantes over 15 rounds on points in San Jose. Then you got May the 31st, 1976, Wilfredo Bennett wins on points against Emilio Villa from Colombia in San John. October the 16th, 1976, Wilfredo Bennett wins in the 3rd round, referee stopping the fight against Tony Petronelli from the US in San John. And the WBA stripped Bennett for failing to defend against Antonio Cervantes. So Cervantes starts again. June the 25th, 1976. Antonio Cervantes wins in the 5th round, referee stopping the fight against Carlos Gimenez. And that's in Venezuela, Maracaibo, Venezuela. Then November the 5th, 1977, Antonio Cervantes wins on a 15-round points decision against Adriano Marrero from Dominican Republic. That was in Venezuela, in Maracaibo, Venezuela again. Then April the 28th, 1978, Antonio Cervantes wins in the 6th round by KO against Tonga Kiatvei Kiatve Yup Akdi from Thailand. Awkward Thailand name. Tonga Kiatve Yup Akdi from Thailand. And that was in Thailand, Udon, Thailand. Then we got August 26th, 1978. Antonio Cervantes wins in the 9th round, referee stopping the fight, against Norman Sekgapane from South Africa. And it was in Botswana, Mabathu, and that was January 18th, 1979. Antonio Cervantes wins on points against points decision over 15 rounds against Miguel Montilla from the Dominican Republic, I think that is. That was in New York. Then you got August the 25th, 1979. Antonio Cervantes wins on points over 15 rounds against Kwang Min Kim from Korea in Seoul, Korea. Then you've got Antonio Cervantes again. So May the 26th, 1980. Antonio Cervantes wins in the 7th round, referee stopping the fight, the 7th round against Miguel Montilla. That was in Cartagena, Colombia. Then you got August the 2nd, 1980. Aaron Pryor of the US wins by KO in the 4th round against Antonio Cervantes in Cincinnati, Ohio. November the 22nd, 1980, Aaron Pryor wins in the 6th round, referee stopping the fight, against Gitan Hart from Canada in Cincinnati, Ohio. Then you got June the 27th, 1981, Aaron Pryor wins in the 2nd round against Lennox Blackmore from Guyana. You got November the 14th, 1981, Aaron Pryor wins in the 7th round. Referee stops the fight against Jujon Johnson from the US in Cleveland, Ohio. Then you got May the 21st, 1982. Aaron Pryor wins in the 12th round. Referee stopping the fight against Miguel Montilla. That was in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Then you got June the 4th, 1982. Aaron Pryor wins in the 6th round. Referee stopping the fight against Akio Kameda from Japan in Cincinnati, Ohio. Then you got November the 12th, 1982. Aaron Pryor wins in the 14th round. Referee stops the fight against Alex Arguello of Nicaragua. Miami, Florida. Panama with Lewis been in the corner. Say no more. Then April the 2nd, 1983, Aaron Pryor wins in the 3rd round. Kim Sang-hyung. He beats Kim Sang-hyung from Korea in the 3rd round, referee stopping the fight. Again, the Cincinnati Hawk, Aaron Pryor, cracking fighter. Yeah, went a bit wayward, unfortunately. Atlantic City, New Jersey, that was in. Then the 2nd fight, because of Arguello stepping up to try and beat Pryor at a higher division again. September 9th, 1983, Aaron Pryor wins in the 10th round by KO against Alex Arguello, 2nd time. Both them classic fights, them. Some of my favourite fights, them two. in Las Vegas, Nevada. Pryor gave up the WBA title and then proclaimed champion by the IBF. Lovely. So then we got June the 1st, 1984, Gene Mad Dog Hatcher from the US wins the 11th round, referee stopping the fight against Johnny Bumpus in Buffalo, New York. Both would be Lloyd Honeyghan opponents further down the line. Yeah, so we got December the 15th, 1984, Gene Hatcher wins in the 15th round. 15 rounds points decision. Gene Hatcher wins the 15 rounds points decision against Ubaldo Sacco from Argentina in Fort Worth, Texas. Then June 21st, 1985, Ubaldo Sacco from Argentina wins in the 9th round, referee stopping the fight against Gene Hatcher in Campione, Italy. And then March the 15th, 1986, Patrizio Oliva from Italy wins on points over 15 rounds against Ubaldo Sacco from Argentina in Monte Carlo, Monaco. And then June the 10th, 1987, Patrizio Oliva wins on points over 15 rounds against Adolfo Gonzalez from Mexico in Agrigento, Italy. So let's go for that again. So September the 6th, 1986, Patrizio Oliva wins, referee stops the fight in the 3rd round against Brian Brunette from the US in Naples, Italy. Then July the 4th, January the 10th, 1987, Patrizio Oliva wins on points over 15 rounds against Rodolfo Gonzalez from Mexico in Agrigento, Italy. January the 10th, 1987, Patrizio Oliva wins on points over 15 rounds against Rodolfo Gonzalez from Mexico in Agrigento, Italy. And the Brian Brunette was in fight over 3 rounds. He won in 3 rounds in Naples, Italy. Then we're going to finish here. So July the 4th, 1987, John Martin Corgi from Argentina wins by KO against Patrizio Oliva from Italy in Ribeiro, Spain. John Martin Corgi from Argentina stops Patrizio Oliva from Italy with a 3rd round KO. Bang. That's the second one, the light welterweight division history of boxing. Bang.